Hello and welcome to Supposedly Fun. My name is Greg.
I'm Joel.
And we have Teddy in his spectacular winter sweater that he hates. Absolutely hates.
But he is so warm.
And
It's very cold today.
It is very cold today. We took him for a big walk and in the snow, and it kept him nice and warm, and he was exhausted when we got home. So he might go right to sleep while we film. And we are here today to film our December reading wrap-up. So it's actually only December 28th as we're filming this, but we conferred this morning, and I decided to start a book that's a little bit longer. I don't think I'm going to finish it before the end of the month / the end of the year. And you've kind of been enjoying... Well, you've been doing cooking.
I've been cooking like crazy.
For days.
So I'm taking a little time off to just relax, hang with Teddy.
Yeah.
And then I start back to work tomorrow, kind of to goof off. And so I'm not going to have a whole lot of reading time. So
we're enjoying time as a family.
Yeah.
And we decided to really focus on that and prioritize that. So, but how was your reading month?
My month was good. I had a couple of really good things and some great things and some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yours?
It was good.
Good.
You know, the anticipation of the holidays, obviously there was stress, there was anxiety, but I found ways to read. I really focused on short books, and that helped carry me through in a lot of ways. So that was great. Yeah.
Did you count The Night Before Christmas because you read it to Teddy and I?
I did not. I should have. On
have.
Christmas Eve, I read The Night Before Christmas to Joel and Teddy.
Yeah, it was awesome. And we sat, the room was dark, we had the Christmas lights on, and it was just beautiful.
Yeah. Teddy was not so interested.
He loved it.
He did love it. He fell asleep. So,
do you want to get going?
Do we want to talk about the books, or do we want to talk about the show? Or do we want to tease people now and then talk about the show at the end?
We can tease people, and then we can put a marker if you want to fast forward to it or not listen to it.
Okay, yeah. So at the end of the video, we will be talking about Heated Rivalry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sweeping the nation.
It is. It really is. All right, so let's dive in and talk about the books. So I have 9.
I have 7.
Okay, why don't I go first then? So my first book was Days Without End by Sebastian Barry. This is a very different kind of queer book. It's on the subtle side, but the protagonist, actually, it's not on the subtle side. The protagonists are men who are in love and having a sexual relationship back in the time of before the Civil War, during the Civil War, and after. And one of them, Thomas, who is the sort of, he's the narrator of the story, has come from Ireland during the famine. And the other one was John Cole, was born in the United States, and they don't have a lot of money, but they travel together, they love each other, and they find ways to stay together. They fight in the Indian Wars, and then later feel bad about their role in the Indian Wars, especially since they end up adopting a Native American girl named Winona and forming a family as they can at the time. And it's a very good story, very interesting story. It does feel a little slow, but I was really interested in this. There is a sequel. I managed to find a copy of that book as well. Can't wait to read it. So
Sounds fun.
yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah.
So that was my first. And then do you want to go, or do you want me to go again?
There we go.
Okay.
So I ended the last month with reading Brooklyn by Colm Tobin. So I dived right into Long Island by Colm Tobin. It follows 20 years later of Eilish, who's a Irish girl who came over to the States and married or fell in love with a Italian man, but had a little crush on a Irish man. So this kind of continues, kind of goes into, she does marry Tony, the Italian, and
it's impossible not to spoil that, because the whole premise of this story involves her being married and living on Long Island.
But she gets a visit from another Irishman coming to the door and said, your husband got my wife pregnant and you're going to have to take this child. And Eilish is like, I don't want this child in my house. And so it's a really beautiful story of how she's standing up for herself and what she's going to do. It brings a lot of Brooklyn back into the story. So I thought it's just a great book and very well done. And I like how Eilish is basically standing her ground for saying what she will and will not accept.
Yeah, which is nice to see.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of Ireland, you got this handsome... Doesn't he look handsome? This sweater we got in Ireland and the little claddagh.
My claddagh green that my husband bought me.
Mm-hmm. So just had to comment. It's Irish, and the book was written by an Irishman. So
you have a hoodie from Powell's Books
that my husband got for me, and actually a T-shirt from Elliott Bay
bookstore in Seattle
that you can't see because Teddy, that my husband also got me. But you also have a supposedly fun T-shirt that we ordered from the merch store, which is where?
Down below.
Down below. All right.
Where Teddy's looking because he's so tired.
He is asleep, or like getting there. So my next book was A Book for Christmas by Selma Lagerlof. This is obviously billed as a Christmas book. It's very small. It's a collection of winter stories that Selma Lagerlof wrote. Now, if you don't know who she is, she won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1909, but she was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize for Literature. And I had never read anything by her, and I was really curious to do it. So this felt like a very accessible way. Penguin Classics repackaged these stories, obviously marketed for Christmas this season. It's a beautiful, beautiful edition.
It's really pretty.
You can't see this, but it's
textured. Almost denim-ish.
Yeah, it does feel kind of denim-ish.
Yeah, it's
which
very cool.
Yeah, it is. And my husband got this for me.
After he told me about it 5 times in the bookstore in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I kept complaining that I wasn't sure I wanted to spend the money on it.
But it's a very pretty book.
It is. So they lean more into winter than they do into Christmas, but I'm really glad I read this. Selma Lagerlof is an incredible, incredible writer, and I'm so glad that I have read one of her books, or some of her writing. They're translated from the Swedish. Because they were published in different places, the translators are different, but all of the stories in here were translated by either Sarah Death, Peter Graves, and Linda Schenk.
Get out.
Isn't that, I'm really, look at it right there. Sarah Death,
wow.
Peter Graves, and Linda Schenk. So anyway, what do you have next?
I have Marriage at Sea by Sophie Elmhurst.
Yeah.
You kind of told me about it, and it sounded interesting. It's a husband and wife. They get married. They live their lives. They're very happy and in love. And they decide to go out on a yacht and go around the world in it. Well, the yacht kind of catches on... or
doesn't like a whale hit it or something?
A whale hits it, and it starts sinking. And so they jump in a dinghy. So they're actually in 2 dinghies. This is a true story.
Oh. 2 dinghies?
2 dinghies,
wow,
yes.
I didn't know that part.
So they each had one, but they have one for storage, and so they would share one, keep one for storage, or separate. But they really kept their wits about them through this whole tragedy. And I want to say it was like 5 months that they were on sea.
It was a long time.
Eating sea turtles and everything. And it's their story of how they really dealt with the tragedy of losing the boat, but also keeping the marriage together and not getting on each other. And it's actually kind of a slow book, but still very interesting. And I did enjoy it. It's not great, but I enjoyed it. And even at the end, I don't want to spoil the ending, but at the end, they realized it was just a very unfortunate mistake, and they learned a lot from it, and it's actually interesting. I liked it.
So I might catch up to it at some point.
I think it's a quick read, so...
Yeah, I think it's only like 6 hours, the audio, which we have access to, so yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
Ready for me?
I'm ready for you.
All right.
Love this book.
Yeah, so Joel read this one before I did. Do you want to hold it?
Yeah, your hands are full.
It's The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. When did you read this? A year ago? 2 years ago?
A couple of years ago, yeah.
Something like that, yeah. Mostly because I think you were curious about Ernest Hemingway.
I really want to read some Ernest Hemingway. Yeah. It's a thin book.
And, because he has some bricks.
And it's a Pulitzer Prize winning book. So
Yes, it is.
I wanted to read another Pulitzer book. So
Yeah.
it's a good one. He has a collection of short stories that I really want to read too.
Yeah, I read the short stories a long time ago. I don't remember most of them, so I would love... I don't know why I don't have a copy of them anymore, but I really... There was an edition of them that I really loved, so I'd love to track it down again. Great short stories. But anyway, so you can tell from A Book for Christmas that I had decided to pivot to shorter books, and I was thinking about what I could fit in, and I realized, well, The Old Man and the Sea is really short. It's a short book, and it's for my Pulitzer Prize project, so I did it. What would you like to show people?
The end pages are really kind of cool.
Yeah.
They have his notes that he wrote.
It's a beautiful edition of the book. It's the Hemingway Library edition, I believe.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
And it has pictures of him, his family, Cuban fishermen. It's actually toward the back of the book. Okay. And so that was a surprise when I got to it. And it also has appendices. There's a foreword by one of his sons, an afterword by another of his sons.
So pictures of just their fishing and some of their stuff. So it's actually really interesting.
And you actually get to see what the boat that the fisherman is in, the titular old man, would have been in. So this is the story of Santiago, who is an older man. He is the old man. And he has been on a run of bad luck. He has now had 85 days without catching a fish. And he goes out and he does manage to catch a fish, a marlin. And he goes out very far with this marlin because he's determined to bring him in. So it's a little bit man versus nature, a little bit Rage Against the Dying of the Light, and all of that. It's a very fascinating book. Yeah. I have not written a Pulitzer Prize deep dive that I can film yet, but I am hoping to do that soon, and I will talk a lot more about it in that. So,
thanks.
Yeah. All right, what do you have next?
My next one, I love this book, The Kitchen Front by Jennifer Ryan.
Oh.
It takes place in World War II, and it follows 4 women. But the premise of the book is there is a food show on the radio where they talk about different foods and everything. It's kind of pre-Julia Child kind of stuff. But they said we need a woman's voice on there, but we want it to be a woman's voice on how to cook with rations from the war, because they only got a certain amount of rations. And so they have to learn how to cook with it. So so they do kind of a Great British Bake Off challenge where they do a starter, an entree, and a dessert 1 month apart.
Okay, and all on rations.
All on rations. Wow. And it's how to use the rations the best. And so it follows 4 women. One woman is just this, her husband was killed in the war. She has no money coming in. Her roof is falling in. Oh. And then there's another woman who is a chef, but she's single and pregnant. And then another woman who is the poor woman's very rich, entitled sister, who has more money than God and is going to, she just wants to do this for the prestige. And she's just, you really want to hate this woman. And so it's about the 4 women and their cooking contest, but how the friendship between these women grow. And by the end of the book, you're not even talking about the contest anymore. You're talking about something bigger among these 4 women. It's a beautiful book. Yeah. I really enjoyed it.
I'm on the hold list on Libby to listen to the audio. Did Lona read it, or is she on the hold list too?
I think she's on the hold list.
Okay, yeah. So he's already inspired 2 other people to read this book.
Marsha Johansson got it too.
Oh, okay. So 3. And actually, I think on Christmas you told our neighbors... Our neighbor and our neighbor's sister about it, and they both seemed interested. Yeah. So,
I highly recommend this book. If you want to learn about science of food, cooking with rations, and that you don't need big ingredients to make big food, it's amazing what they do. And the book has recipes in it, and it's really fascinating.
So, would you compare it more to Lessons in Chemistry or more to Mrs. Quinn's Rise to Fame, or both?
Ooh, a cross of both.
Okay, that's a good mixture.
It has the charm of Mrs. Quinn's Rise to Fame, but it has the science of Lessons in Chemistry.
I love that.
Yeah, it has all that.
And a dash of 84 Charing Cross Road because it deals with rations.
And highly, if you really like, if you're a foodie, you like history, it's just a fantastic book.
Yeah,
I loved it. I may actually do it again. I may do a reread this summer, and I want to actually buy a copy of the book so I can have the book, because they have recipes in the book.
Oh, yeah.
And Kurt Anderson and I were talking about, he wants to make, I don't want to say what it is because it's a big thing at the end. He wants to make one of these because he asked me, do you think this would work? And it's like, ooh, I don't know, but I think it would.
We'll find out. Kurt, let us know.
Yeah.
We did actually discover this book at Auntie's bookstore in Spokane when we were there for Halloween. But we were both intrigued, but for whatever reason, I think because I insisted that you get a cookbook because he doesn't like to spend money on his cookbooks, and so I made him get something nice for himself, and I got a t-shirt, and then we got a gift for somebody else. So we didn't get it, but we kept thinking about it, and then you decided you wanted to do it, so you got on the list for Libby. So shout out to Auntie's.
Yes.
It was on the staff picks display.
It's a beautiful book.
Yeah.
I think I cried a few times in it. It has some emotional parts too.
Yeah.
So, what do you got?
Well, and good reminder, always check the staff picks section of an independent bookstore because they know what they're doing. My next book, keeping with the short theme, this one you pretty almost literally could dunk in your coffee. It's Double Indemnity by James M. Cain. I saw this when we were in Hamilton at Chapter 1, and they have a used book section in the back. So I got a copy of this, and I read it like immediately. Part of the appeal of this book is that I have seen the movie Double Indemnity, but I had never read the book. And it's called like a classic of crime noir from back in the day. So I read it. I think the movie's better. This is a case where I think the movie is better because it's got Barbara Stanwyck and Fred McMurray, a great cast. And it smooths some of the edges. Like, I've read one other James M. Cain book, Mildred Pierce, and he really is someone who gets distracted by details. So the premise of this book is that there's an insurance salesman who goes to check on a renewal at a fancy house he actually calls it Hollywoodland, but nowadays we would just call it Hollywood. Because the Hollywood sign used to be Hollywoodland, but I guess the land fell off anyway. So this woman starts to ask about accident insurance for her husband. The man's not home, so he starts talking to the wife. And he gets drawn into a plot with the wife to murder her husband. And there's a double indemnity clause in the accident insurance that if he dies on a train, you get double the money, double indemnity. So that's what it is. It is really interesting to go back and read the book. It does feel like a good noir book, but like I said, James M. Cain, even in a short book, can get very distracted by details, like going into the plans that this insurance man makes. Because since he's in insurance, he kind of thinks, I know what insurance people look for, so I feel like I could get away with a perfect murder. Well, it doesn't go perfectly. Let's just say that. So that was my next. How about you?
I had Good Pucking Luck by Riley Hart. This was a male romance. It follows Hayes and Rylan. It starts off, Hayes is in this great relationship, but his boyfriend really likes hockey. They go to hockey games because his boyfriend loves it. He doesn't because he kind of was raised in the hockey environment and just didn't like it.
Over it.
Oh, totally over it.
Yeah.
So at this hockey game, he proposes to his boyfriend. And it got put on like the big jumbotron.
Oh, wow.
And the boyfriend was like, no way. And so this guy becomes a laughing stock. And this whole episode gets blown up so big. And it kind of goes into the book. Well, so one day Hayes is working in a hotel as a bartender, and this guy comes up and just wants a drink. And there's like nobody in there. And he goes, honestly, I'm just really horny. I'm just looking for a one-night stand.
Oh, my.
And so they have a one-night stand. And then...
it turns into something more.
Well, no, but then Hayes finds out who the Riley is. And then it gets even bigger, blown out of proportion and big. And it was actually kind of a fun book, because then Riley says, I want to keep hooking up with you because you're a good luck charm. So it's good fucking luck.
Oh, I love it.
It's a good book. It has a mild level of spice, but the book itself is actually really fun and good.
So if people have been obsessed with Heated Rivalry and they're looking for something to do after, would you recommend
It's an okay
this
book for
one?
after.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. I want to just quickly look at my list and make sure. This is the correct next book. There's one book somewhere in there that I don't have. This is Miracle on 34th Street by Valentine Davies. So this is not a case of a movie that was adapted from a book. This is a case where Valentine Davies wrote the screenplay for the classic movie A Miracle on 34th Street. And then he went to the studio and asked if he could adapt it into a novel, and they gave him permission, hence this book. So it is the movie, if you have seen that, which Joel had never done. I've
never seen.
Yeah, so I had seen it for the very first time last year while Joel was traveling somewhere. But on Christmas Eve, we watched it together. And it's a very charming and cute movie.
Oh, yes.
I'd say the book is as charming and fun, but it's missing the chemistry that you get between Edmund Gwenn, who plays Kris Kringle, and the little girl who's played by Natalie Wood, who is not a believer. So if you're unfamiliar with Miracle on 34th Street, a man gets hired to play Santa for Macy's, and he says his name is Kris Kringle. He really believes that he is Santa Claus. And while he is working there, he runs into the daughter of the personnel manager of Macy's. And both of them are very sensible, logical women and don't believe in silly things like Santa Claus. So he takes it upon himself to convince them. And it's fun.
It is actually a really charming book.
It is.
And Natalie Wood is she's so adorable.
Yeah. So if you're only going to do one, I'd say do the movie, but you can't really go wrong with the book. So.
And like you said, you kind of miss the chemistry between the Kris Kringle and the little girl. So
yeah, you can see why Natalie Wood became a star.
Yeah.
She's very good.
So cute.
Yeah. All right. What do you have next?
I have next The Gales of November by John U. Bacon. And it is a nonfiction book about the ship, the Edmund Fitzgerald, that sinks in Lake Superior on November 10th, 1975. It's a very technical book, I would say, explaining how ships are built, how waves go, how ships float on waves. It was interesting, and I was really enjoying it. But it didn't get a little bit more exciting until you actually get to November 10th in 1975 and going in to the shipwreck. And then they talk about how the ship did wreck, because it's almost supposed to be like the Titanic, just unsinkable.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, it takes a lot to sink a ship.
Okay.
And so it was just a perfect storm that night that really took down the ship. But then it kind of goes into the people on the ship, the families of the people on the ship, so which was really interesting. But the part I found the most interesting was they talked a lot about Gordon Lightfoot, who wrote the ballad
of the Edmund Fitzgerald. I can't remember the name.
Yeah, something of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Great song, but it's true to what happened that night and what it is. But they talk about how much it meant to him, because Lightfoot was a sailor and he understood everything, and he really wanted to pay tribute, and he didn't want to record the song or release the song. And one day in the studio, they got finished with their album early. They go, let's just do the Fitzgerald song. And they did a take of it. And so I don't think is right. They did another take. They did like 10 takes or so. But the one that they used, that you hear today on the radio, is the very first take.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it just had the emotion and the sadness in it. And it just really brought it together. And it's also interesting, on every year on November 10th, they ring the bell 29 times, I think it's 29, for each sailor lost. The year that Lightfoot died, they added one more ring of the bell for Lightfoot because he brought the story to light, and he brought the story for people to know and understand. So, fascinating book, but very technical. So
yeah, I know. In the opening, you weren't quite sure you were liking it because of how technical it was, but then you really. I could tell your interest peaked as you were going along.
I was reading it in bits or listening to it on bits and pieces, but then I went on a long road trip and I just immersed myself in it, and it actually got really good.
Yeah. Well, nice.
Yes, it's a good book.
Yeah. Ready for me?
Yep.
All right, so now we get into the 2 books in a row that I don't have copies of here. The first one was actually loaned to us by our neighbor. It is the Bramley Hedge Collection by Jill Barklam. This is a collection of stories for children, but I read all of them, and this collection ends up being about 250 pages. So I counted it as something that I read on Storygraph, and then I kind of looked at Joel and I was like, I know this is a kid's book, but it is 250 pages. And he was like, count it. It's fine. So I'm counting it. So this is a very creative and sweet, wholesome and cozy collection of stories for kids about mice living in their community is the Bramley Hedge in a field somewhere. And each story, they open with stories that are seasonal. You start with spring, summer, fall, and then winter. And there's a lot of creativity in how these mice live. Like the houses, there's an oak tree that they call Oak Palace. It's where the wealthiest people in this community live. And it is very charming. So I am glad that I read it, and I would recommend it. If you have a little kid who likes wholesome, cozy stories, Bramley Hedge.
Is that why you asked me about Sipsworth?
No, somebody actually recommended Sipsworth for me now because I'm anxious. So
Sipsworth is a book I read last year about a woman who finds a mouse and befriends this mouse, which is very charming book, and it is a total feel-good book of just the compassion and everything.
Yeah,
the poor little boy.
He's
so it's a good book too. So.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
What do you have?
I have a book I've wanted to read for a while, but it was given to us by our friend Danny, the bookish bear. Mistletoes and Michigas by M.A. Wardell. And it was a story, it's a male-to-male romance, and it follows 2 guys, Sheldon and Theo. Sheldon is a very out there, proud, loud gay man. And is very high-strung and just, he's a lot. And I had a hard time with the beginning of the book because Sheldon was so much. But and then when he meets Theo, so Sheldon is a teacher, Theo is a janitor. And Theo is a bigger guy, thick, doesn't feel he's very good looking, always been told he's not very good looking, been told he's a curmudgeon, and just does not feel good about himself. And Sheldon just thinks he's like the hottest man ever. Makes him feel good about himself. So you see Sheldon really making Theo feel better about himself. You feel the confidence building up. And I thought that was the most endearing part of the book. And Theo is this total love of a person.
Oh.
And then I kind of fell in love with this book.
Yeah.
And it's really good. So.
And I'm hoping to catch up to it in 2026.
Yeah. So should be a good one. I really like it. And fun reading.
Okay. Somebody's awake.
Yes, high. The spice level in it is medium, but very awkward. I just don't get it. It was just awkward.
And part of why I'm curious to read this is to find out what that means.
Yeah.
So,
well,
because you don't want to spoil.
The narrator just wasn't into it, and just kind of like, well, they did this, and then they did this, and it was a good book.
Okay, well, there you go. So my next one, I listened to on audio, so I don't have a copy. It's A Long Winter by Colm Tóibín. So we're back. Yeah. And basically, this is a novella. The audio is like 2.5 hours. And that's why I wanted to jump in and do it. The subject matter is fairly serious. You have this of the family, and Mikkel is the primary character, and he has come back from 2 years of compulsory service in the military, and just as he comes back, his younger brother leaves to do his 2 years. And after his brother leaves, he is trying to adjust back to home life, and he starts to notice signs that his mom is sneaking drinks. And then, I don't think this is a spoiler because this is the opening. He comes home one day and his father had found her stash and dumped out all of the alcohol. And Mikkel finds out that while he was gone for 2 years, his mother had become an alcoholic, and there had been a whole thing that he knew nothing about. And in the morning, his mother's not there. She has left. And not long after she leaves, not long after they notice that she leaves, a big blizzard settles in, and so they can't really get out and find her. And there begins a search party. So the novella is what happens in the days where his mother is missing. So it is very serious, but Colm Tóibín is a great writer, so it is a very good book. But I would say if you're anxious like me, it's maybe not a good thing to do right now. So that was my next one.
My next one. So once we leave the universe of Mistletoe and Mishkas by M.A. Wardell, you go into Teacher of the Year. I skipped that one and went to Husband of the Year. I thought it was about Greg, but it wasn't.
Oh, you.
It continues on a story of Marvin and Olin. So Marvin is a teacher, and he got Teacher of the Year. So it's kind of about him and how he meets Olin. So apparently their story continues in the third book of the series. Olin, they have this really nice relationship, and they're going to get married in the fall. But Olin gets called back home for a family emergency. And this family emergency, and the family emergency kind of builds and builds as it goes. But Marvin is very insecure, thinking he's going to leave me. He's going to leave me. We're not going to get married. And he goes, when Olin says, I got to call and talk to you, and we need to talk in person, he thinks he's going to get dumped. Well, it's not. There is a tragedy in the family, and it takes the family to come together to take care of this tragedy. I thought it's just a super beautiful book, and I really liked it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to catching up to both.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about what the tragedy was because it's kind of a big spoiler, but it's a big part of the book. But I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I'm excited to read that one too.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to separate the chairs because they're rubbing against each other and making a farting noise. So it's the chairs. So, yeah.
All right, that was my last one.
Oh, that was your last one? All right, I have two more, both quick. Yeah, this was given to us on Christmas by a very good friend who is very good friends with Charles Finn, the poet who wrote this book. We have met him maybe 2 or 3 times, but we don't know him anywhere near as well as her. So A Mountain's Idea of Time is his most recent collection of poems. If you know me, you know I am not much of a poetry reader. I often feel like I don't it's kind of above my head. I don't really understand it. This one, I felt like it was on my level. I kind of got it. And there are some really beautiful poems in here. The whole collection really heavily deals with life, death, grief, and an abiding love of nature. And the place is Montana, but also Oregon. So, a lot of the places in the book are places that we are familiar with. And they're really beautiful. So it was fun to sit down for an afternoon and read some poetry for a change. And
I'm going to do it next.
Yeah. And for me to get along with a volume of poetry too. Yeah. So, yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I think actually this blurb on the front is a very good summary of the book. A joyful immersion. These poems are devotions to the moment-to-moment gift of being alive. And that's from Chris Latreille, a Métis storyteller and Montana Poet Laureate. So, yeah. The last book that I read was something that we actually got for our niece for Christmas. And after I got it, I was thinking, I kind of want to read that. So I put a hold on it at the library, and it came available right before Christmas. So I read it. It's Mismatched. This is by Anne Camlin and illustrated by Isadora Zeffirino. And this is a queer modern take on the story of Emma. So instead of Emma, you have Evan, who is a high school boy who leads it's not the Gay Straight Alliance anymore, it's the Gender and Sexuality Alliance, I think, which seems more fitting.
Yeah.
And who loves to match his friends and thinks he knows everything. And it's the story of Emma, but modern, in graphic novel form, and with a queer twist. So it's a lot of fun. And if you have a young person in your life who likes this, our niece was so excited when we were on FaceTime with her when she unwrapped it. She opened it and was just kind of looking at it, and she's like, I'm gonna go read this, and went and sat on the couch, and they had to call her back to open her other gift.
She just kind of like left us hanging on the phone.
Well, yeah, because she was looking at it like, oh, bye, I'm gonna go do this. It's nice that she was so excited about it, though. It really is. So that was fun. She's cute. So
and actually, she is adorable. She really wanted to go read this. She came back and opened up some other things with us. And she liked those too. So
she did. Yeah.
But it's so cute to see her so excited over it. But,
yeah, it really was.
She's old.
11.
11?
Yeah.
And she really likes to read. She's actually done a couple of little videos.
Yeah.
She does a little book club with her friends.
Yeah.
So it's just great to see her so immersed in reading and enjoying them. So.
And go figure, we are trying to keep that alive. So that's everything I read. This morning or this afternoon, I did decide on what my next book is going to be, but it's not anything that I'm going to finish this year, I don't think. So it's The Shots You Take by Rachel Reed, which Joel read and really liked, and I had decided to do this one before doing Heated Rivalry, but that was also before I saw any episodes of the show, and I don't know if I would have chosen differently if I had it all to do over again now. But this is about a hockey player and his friend who was a hockey player, but doesn't see. I'm very early on in the book, and for some reason is not playing hockey anymore. I'm sure you know the answer to this. And they were friends with benefits when they were teenagers, and that stopped. But then the professional hockey player shows back up in the town where Riley, the one who's not a hockey player, lives, and sparks are flying pretty early on. So it's fun. Yeah. I can't wait to get further into it.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting.
Yeah. So he's trying to be tight-lipped.
I know.
And do you have anything that you're working on right now, or?
I know a couple of things that are going to come available for me are The Dutch House by Anne Patchett.
Ooh.
So I'm excited about reading that. There's one other one that's come available. I just have no clue what it is. And then a Mellow Romance, a rum Rumspringa.
Oh, it's something about a
A
Rumspringa.
forbidden Rumspringa.
Something like that, yeah.
Somebody told me it's really good. So
I was delighted when you told me the title of the book because I was like, I need to know everything about this.
And then there's one more Rachel Reed I want to do. That's outside of the Heated Rivalry universe.
Okay.
So that's it.
Well, the chairs are bumping, but
Yeah.
it's the chairs. It's not us and it's not Teddy. So with that, should we talk about Heated Rivalry, the TV show?
Yes.
Okay.
There may be spoilers too.
What I'm going to say is let's have a quick section without spoilers, and then we can get into more spoilery stuff.
Yes.
So no spoilers now, but we'll tell you before we get into them. So when we first started watching, the first 2 episodes were released on the same day. You were so excited for this series. And
For months.
yeah, when you heard that it was coming, you were like, we need to find a way to watch this. And then when we found out it was going to be in the US on HBO Max, yeah. So the first 2 episodes, I did not think I was going to like it. And part of why we want to talk about this here is because in the last reading wrap-up that we did, I slandered it. And because all I had seen at that point was the first 2 episodes.
Yeah. And I didn't really care for it either. So the books actually start out with Scott and Kip. And they have a great story about that. Then it goes into Heated Rivalry, which is about Ilya and Shane. And it kind of comes to an abrupt end. Then you go into like 4 more books about the people, but you still have all these characters carrying through. And then the last book is called The Long Game, and that sums up Ilya and Shane's relationship. And that's what the TV show was, a brief description of the second and the last book.
Okay.
So I didn't really find the first 2 episodes great, but I do want to rewatch them and think about this because now that this is all blown up and it's everywhere, people are talking about certain things. Well, first of all, Ilya is Russian and doesn't have a strong English language, so he doesn't really get a lot across. And I found him to be very rude.
Yeah.
And then Shane, and this is confirmed by Rachel Reed in the books, is possibly on the spectrum. So Shane doesn't have a large dialogue of explaining a lot of himself. So you have these 2 personalities that are working with each other, but it doesn't, for me, it didn't work on screen, but it does in the book.
See, on the screen, the dynamic feels almost abusive, and that's why I was really not liking it. Because Ilya is very demanding of Shane, and you almost could convince yourself, like, did they even like each other? And it also jumps in time a lot. You need those time jumps in the later episodes, but to watch them is a little tough. But then go ahead.
Shane and Ilya's relationship on the public
There we go.
is they are arch rivals. They hate each other. And that's what everybody thinks. They just hate each other. But behind the scenes, they've been having a friends with benefits relationship ever since rookie season or the summer before. And so that doesn't really it comes across in the movie, but it doesn't, the characters don't really have that feel.
Yeah.
They don't know how to deal with each other.
Yeah. So then episode 3 happens, and that's where I completely fell in love with the show. But I was complaining because I was like, I really hope they don't go back to Shane and Ilya. So episode 3, you take a detour to Kip and Scott, who are other characters. Those are the ones from the first book.
Yes, the first book.
It's adorable. It's like wonderful. I love them, but especially I love Kip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great character.
Kip is my favorite of all.
Yeah.
It is their relationship. Scott is a hockey player and is not out, so they got to keep the relationship very on the down low.
Yeah.
Kip is a smoothie shop worker, and he doesn't even know if Scott's gay or not. They have this flirtation, which is really, really adorable.
Yeah. At least it's captured well in the series.
Yeah.
And ultimately it becomes about the complications between them because Scott feels like he can't come out because he's a hockey player. But the difficulties of having a relationship that's hidden away from the public. And then the next episode goes back to Ilya and Shane, but it starts to get better. And episode 5.
Wow.
So no spoilers in this part, I will say the ending of episode 5, other than Joel and Teddy, is the best thing that's happened to me all year. So.
And it is, I knew it was coming, and unfortunately I saw a spoiler on Instagram, but when it happens on screen, in your home, on a TV, it is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's so good, so good.
And very well filmed.
Yeah, it is. I've like completely fallen down rabbit holes of people posting stuff about Heated Rivalry and the thought that went into so much of it, subtle things that you didn't notice getting pointed out. It's good.
I'm sorry, my mouth is gaping open. I don't think they knew what this was going to do, how big it was going to be.
Yeah.
But they did not shoot it cheaply or on a budget, or maybe they did, but
they did actually film it pretty cheaply.
Yeah, but it does not look budgeted film. It is really, really well filmed.
And I think they filmed all 6 episodes in 37 days.
Wow.
So, yeah, so they did a really good job.
And so episode 5, you're blown away, and then episode 6 is just wow.
Yeah, it's so good.
How does it get better? It does.
It does.
So it more follows Shane and Elia.
Yeah.
And it is absolutely beautiful, stunning, heartwarming. I cried multiple times.
Yeah.
So
amazing.
3, 5, and 6 just made me cry.
Yeah.
And it was just so beautifully done. I know the story. I know where we're going. And it is just on screen is beautiful.
It really is. And I haven't read the books, but so I didn't know a lot of what was coming, but I think that's part of why it had such I was like blown away by so much of it. Do we want to talk about spoilers, or do we want to leave it at that?
We can hit a couple of spoilers, because if you have seen it and you know the spoilers, hang with us for a bit.
Yes.
And if you don't want to know spoilers, I'm sure you can put a little timestamp down below.
Well, I think we're done with everything else. So if you don't want spoilers, we can just say happy reading.
Happy baking.
Yeah. And all right, come back later.
Spoiler alerts.
Yeah. So, episode 5. Do we want to just start with that as a spoiler? Or do you want to go back?
3.
3? Okay. So at the end of episode 3, that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you know where we're at.
Okay, yeah. So at the end of episode 3, Kip tells Scott he can't really do this anymore because it's become too hard in order to be in a relationship where nobody knows. He hasn't been able to spend time with his father. He hasn't been able to spend time with his friends. He feels like he's giving up too much. So there's a sort of a cliffhanger where they're not together anymore. And Scott goes and watches through the window of a bar while Kip has a birthday party with his friends, and it's like heartbreaking. And then you get to the next episode, goes back to Ilya and Shane, but then the payoff for Scott and Kip comes at the end of episode 5. And at the end of episode 5, both Shane's team and Ilya's team are no longer in the run for what their equivalent of the Stanley Cup. But Scott's team gets into the final and wins. And when they win, he's on the ice celebrating with his team, but then their team's family members start to come out and he's kind of alone. I know, it's emotional even now. And he looks up into the stands and Kip is there. So he beckons Kip down onto the ice and has him hop over a board and lets him onto the ice and stares at him adoringly, and they kiss on the ice in front of everyone. And this is, I honestly, I think I had never expected to see anything like that in a movie or a TV show.
Yeah. But the chilling part is he's saying, Kip, come down here. And as Kip's going, it goes to Ilya. It's like, what's going on? And then Shane is with his parents, like, what's happening? And they're texting back and forth. What's going on?
Yeah.
And
and Shane and Ilya are kind of at a crossroads in their relationship too, because Shane is the one who kind of finally expresses that he feels like he needs something more, and he likes Ilya, and Ilya has been more resistant because it's not possible. And Shane gets a concussion, and while he's in the hospital, Ilya comes in and he invites Shane to his cottage, or he invites Ilya to his cottage that summer, and Ilya says he can't go.
Yeah, I'm going back to Russia.
Yeah, and just we can't really pursue this.
So in episode 5, you have this like very intense feeling from Ilya and Shane of what is happening. Who is this guy? Mm-hmm. And then the second they kiss, and everybody's like all on them, and it's filmed beautifully too. Ilya runs out of the room, makes a phone call. Shane gets a call, goes out there. And the very last line is Ilya says, "I'm coming to the cottage."
Yeah.
And it's just so
and then it just ends.
Awesome.
Yeah. And like you're crying, you're screaming.
Yeah. And it's just damn.
And it's nice too because Ilya and Shane are kind of stand-in. Like I said, I don't think I had ever expected to see anything like that. And I honestly, I don't think I had realized that I had kind of given up hope of seeing anything like that in a movie or a TV show, but clearly I did because it just hit me so hard that I was actually seeing it. Yeah. And you can see on Shane and Ilya's faces that they felt the same way. They had reached this point in their relationship because they didn't think it was possible. Yeah. And it's also the importance of somebody being the first.
Yeah.
And breaking down a barrier. So
Heated Rivalry is put out by Crave, which is a Canadian company. Mm-hmm. And there's been like some, not just speculations, but like, what if this was an American-made film? Mm-hmm. We'd have to have a female lead.
Yeah.
We couldn't have all the sex that is in there, which that's fine.
Yeah.
But it would have been a totally different story. Mm-hmm. And this is two men breaking through the barriers of society. And it's like, we're doing what we need to do for each other.
Yeah.
And it's a story of acceptance, and it's just so beautiful.
It really is. It's so good. And, you know, not to say that it isn't the same way, but I think you and I grew up in a time when you didn't see anything. There weren't really gay characters on the TV or in movies, and the ones that you did see were stereotypes.
And this is real life. We got so excited when Michael Sam's came out and then was about ready to be drafted. And
then it fell apart.
It just fell apart for him. I don't know if he didn't perform well. People couldn't accept him being gay. But our first big NFL player, it fell apart. But they wanted to come out and be their authentic selves. But they're also in the spotlight, which was a lot of pressure. Mm-hmm. And it just did not work in real life. And hopefully we can overcome that.
Yeah.
And you could be a captain of a New York City hockey league.
Yeah.
Bring your boyfriend out, kiss him, and say, "I'm gay."
Yeah.
And in the movie, it goes on and is a lot of challenges, but works. And we just need to, in real life.
In the movie or in the book?
In the books.
Okay, books.
And then in real life, we need to be able to make this work too.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
like what I was saying, it's like we grew up, you didn't see anything like that. And we grew up in a time when if you were gay, you had to hide things away. I think for both of us living in a time now when you can have a TV show like this and see something like that I never thought I would see on TV.
I mean, and I'm a little older than you. I mean, I've seen over the years the stereotypes have gone from effeminate men playing gay roles to more masculine.
And then even episode 6 goes in to show that it is still hard for a lot of people who are young today because Shane has to come out to his parents after his father kind of walks in on him and Ilya kissing. Yeah. Not anything more serious than
that. And
we
didn't talk about that. That was such a beautiful point. So go.
Yeah. So he comes out. The coming out scene makes you sob. And it's so funny because now that the barrier has been broken and that Shane and Ilya are spending time together, Ilya really opens up in huge ways.
Ilya in the books is probably one of my favorite characters.
Wow. Yeah.
And that was so disappointing in the first two. I hated him.
Yeah. Oh, I think you want. Do you
but
want down?
He does become.
Say bye-bye to Teddy. Bye.
Ilya does become just the most incredible, thoughtful, caring person.
Yeah, and that really comes out in episode 6. So he supports Shane. He shows up at Shane's parents' cottage with him to be there, and when Shane tells him, And he makes it a little awkward for a second because when Shane is struggling to find words about what they are, Ilya says lovers, and Shane's like, ew, gross. Don't say that. So it's so funny. And then the fact that the way Shane's parents react is not with any upset about him being gay. It's that, but you hate this guy. That's the confusion that they have.
And here they are, they're in the majors, and they go, well, how long has this been going on? And it's like, well, since we were rookies, well, the summer before.
Yeah.
And that's what the parents' hard thing to comprehend is, you've been kind of doing this since rookie season.
Yeah.
Because all they know is the hatred they have for each other.
Yeah.
So it's beautifully done. Rachel Reed wrote an amazing series of books.
And the way they filmed it, because then when they have dinner, I hadn't even noticed this.
I love this.
But somebody on Threads, I think it was, pointed out that so Ilya is loving the pasta that either Shane's mom or dad made. Yeah. He's just like chowing down while everybody else is talking. And I didn't notice this. Shane's father casually, while everybody else is talking, moves the pot into the middle of the table so Ilya can get more when he wants, and he moves the Parmesan, I assume it's Parmesan, in front of Ilya, and Ilya in the next shot is spooning Parmesan and putting it on his pasta. So in these really great subtle ways, you see them almost immediately becoming a family.
Right. And also a point is, this is probably the first meal Ilya has had with a family setting his entire life. His mother commits suicide when he's young.
Yeah.
His father is demanding and a horrible, horrible person.
Yeah.
His brother uses him for the money, and Ilya's never had a family.
Yeah.
So this is the first time he is sat at a table with a home-cooked meal, eating as a family. And that was all in Ilya's little world right there. And the father was like, just being really
even
gracious.
The mother, who's Shane's manager and very savvy in business ways, starts asking about the plan. So their plan is for Ilya to, he's going to be a free agent. He can go to Ottawa because Ottawa is not a good team, but he can be the captain. And then he's 2 hours away from where Shane is in Montreal. And so they can be together, and then he can hopefully build a team from the ground up. But when they tell the mother the plan, she's like, you're going to go to Ottawa. But even in a way where she's not just in a maybe a little bit overbearing way, I feel like it's not just that she's questioning the plan. It's also that okay, guys, let's strategize what we're doing here.
It's not very believable.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that she gets involved.
Yeah, she does.
In this, yeah.
So they can be or at least get to know each other. They're going to start a charity, and it's going to be a hockey camp. So all the guys can come over and help in the hockey camp. And in the books, all the characters help with the hockey camp. Of course. And it's just adorable. Yeah. And that way, it's okay, well, we're rivals, but we're working on a charity together. So we're going to slowly start becoming friends. Because the problem is they can't just come out right now being arch rivals and say, oh, yeah, we've been doing this for a while. Yeah. People will get very angry.
Yeah. And because they've invested a lot in it.
And lose trust and faith in them.
Yeah.
So they got to come together slowly. So it's beautifully written.
It is. Too. And one of the mom's first questions is, so you've never let him win, right? So even his mother has a moment of has anything shady been going on?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But
it's great. So I have not read the books. Joel has read all of them. We were talking about this earlier. I definitely want to read Game Changers. It's the first book in the series. Yeah. It feels like that one's relatively complete on the show.
Yeah, you know everything in that.
Yeah. Although I want Scott and Kip to come back.
Yeah.
In the next season. I want to find out if he got into grad school, if he's going to be an artist. I want to know what Scott is up to. I need more. So, but I want to read that book because that storyline is fairly complete.
And the other 3 books have characters that are very endearing and lovable, and they all have their own personality.
Yeah.
And they bring the other teams into the league, And so I think that's going to be important in season 2 as well.
Okay, so this is going to have been an awkward cut because my phone interrupted our filming, and then we had to take a pause to run some tiramisu over to our neighbors because that's what we do.
I made tiramisu and we share.
So I think we were basically done.
Yeah.
But to finish my point, I think where I left off was just to say, I really enjoyed being surprised by the show. Like, I'm sure you clearly still enjoyed the end of episode 5, knowing what happened. But I had no idea what was coming, and I kind of want to keep that alive. So I think I'm just going to read to where we are in the show and then try to resist going forward. So.
And I think I may rewatch the show.
I would join you.
Yeah. Maybe just binge it over 2 nights and rewatch the show and get a little bit more feel. Try episodes 1 and 2 again.
And if you knowing where it ends up.
Yeah.
And
then we know a lot more information on the characters. So
yes, for sure.
So yeah, that was fun. If you enjoyed it and you have some feedback, put it down below. Let us know what you think.
Careful about spoilers in the comments.
Yes.
Maybe try to mark it so people will know if they'd want to avoid it and all that. But that's pretty much everything.
Yeah.
We've wrapped up December. We've talked about Heated Rivalry at length.
Do you know what's next?
What's next?
Our top 10.
Our top 10.
I think I have a really good top 10.
I know I have a really good top 10. I just need to sit down and work out the order because I'm reconsidering placement of some books. So, stay tuned.
And I've stayed with mine, so I think it's going to stay in there. So
okay. Well, stay tuned for that. It should be coming soon.
Yeah.
And thank you if you've made it through this whole video. Thank you for your time.
For joining us.
But even if you skipped to the spoilers of Heated Rivalry, thank you for your time as well. And as always, we appreciate that time, and we will be back. Until next time, happy reading.
Happy baking.